Good morning, 5th grade. We are ready for class this morning, and as you can see, a few things are different. I am not in the schoolroom at school in the classroom with the chalkboard. I am at home in New York, so I have a new place I'm working with. I'm working with a dry erase board in a little green room here where hopefully things are quiet and we can still learn our lessons well. We are ready for math lesson 139 today. Hopefully my video, I'm using my camera instead of just kind of a little bit of a different setup, but hopefully everything goes okay and we can still keep working well. Looking forward to still hearing from you all in the afternoons, and hopefully everything keeps going okay. So different setting, but we'll try to learn our lessons the same and yeah, just keep moving right along. So I hope everything is still going okay for you. We're going to start this morning with our math lesson with reviewing our geometry terms. Just as we have done before, I'm going to show you the card and give you a little bit of time to give your answer, and then I will tell you the answer. So let's get started with that. Here are the cards. See if this works okay. Alright, so first of all, what do we call a simple dot like this? Go ahead and tell me your answer. That would be a point. A line that has two places where it ends. It does not go on indefinitely. Line segment. Line that goes indefinitely in two directions. Whoops, wrong card. That is a line. What is a line like this called? A ray? What do we call something like this? Angle. Lines that cross over each other? Intersecting lines. Lines that form four right angles. Perpendicular lines. Two lines that run the same direction. They do not cross over each other. They just run right beside each other. Parallel lines. What do we call a shape like this? Simple closed curve. Oh, what is going on here? Okay, so we have two shapes. They're the same shape, both triangles, but they are different sizes. What do we call that? Similar triangles. Two shapes, both triangles, that are the same size. Congruent triangles. What do we call a shape in which none of the line segments intersect each other? Polygon. A shape in which both opposite sides run parallel to each other. Parallelogram. What do we call this shape? You should know this one for sure. Rectangle. Sorry about it focusing and not focusing. What about this? A square. What do we call a shape in which both opposite sides are parallel and they're also all congruent to each other? Rhombus. What do we call a shape in which one set of sides are parallel and the other set is not? Trapezoid. A shape with 5 sides. Hopefully you're answering quickly because I'm going fairly quickly through these. Pentagon. Shape with 6 sides. Hexagon. A shape with 7 sides. Heptagon. A triangle in which all the sides are congruent. Equilateral triangle. A triangle in which 2 sides are congruent, which this triangle confuses me because all 3 sides are congruent, but it only shows that 2 are. But when only 2 are congruent, it is an isosceles triangle. A triangle that has a right angle. Right triangle. What do we call this kind of angle? Straight angle. Angle that is more than 90 degrees. obtuse angle, angle that is less than 90 degrees, acute angle, an angle that is 90 degrees, a right angle, two angles that are the same, congruent angles, a line that goes from the top corner of a polygon to the bottom corner, or just, yeah, from one corner to the other, is a diagonal. What we call the place where two line segments meet. Vertex. And a shape with 8 sides is an octagon. Very good. We are ready to get into perimeter. Introduction to perimeter in our lesson 139 today. So first of all, the word perimeter, here's the word perimeter, and notice that the last part is underlined, the word meter. Now, what does meter measure? If you have a meter stick, what does that measure? It measures length, right? So perimeter also measures length. Perimeter measures the length around a polygon. Now, do you remember what a polygon is? So if you have the shape of a rectangle, a good example for right now would be this dry erase board is the shape of a rectangle. Now, that is also the shape, that is also a polygon. Now, to find the perimeter of a rectangle, we need to measure the length of all of the 4 sides and add them together. Okay? So, perimeter, again, is the distance around a polygon. Since our dry erase board is a polygon, to measure the perimeter, we measure each side and add them together. And that is the perimeter of the dry erase board, or the perimeter of that polygon. Now, because opposite sides of a rectangle are congruent, notice how these 2 sides are the same length as each other, these 2 opposite sides are the same length as each other, we can simply measure this side and multiply it by 2, and that will tell you the length of this and this together. We can measure the length of this side, multiply it by 2, and that will tell you the length of this and this side together. So because we can do that, we can use a formula, this formula right here, to help us measure the perimeter of a rectangle. So whenever we have a rectangle, this formula will help us to measure it. Our formula is P, which means perimeter, equals 2 times L, which stands for length, plus 2 times W, which stands for width. P equals, in parentheses, 2 times L plus, in parentheses, 2 times width. Let's work one of these problems together. I have 2 examples on the board. So let's say that our first rectangle, the length is 9 feet and the width is 7 feet. So we know, since it's a rectangle, the length, both lengths are 9 feet, both widths are 7 feet. So we can use our rectangle formula to measure the perimeter of a rectangle. Let's just move our formula up so that we can work with it. P equals 2 times L plus 2 times W. Now we're just going to copy this down again. P equals 2 times, what is our length? And here our length is 9 feet, so 2 times 9 plus 2 times our width is 7 feet, so we write 7 in here. Now remember, we always need to work parentheses first. Parentheses before addition, subtraction, multiplication. That goes first. So P equals, what is 2 times 9? That would be 18. So P equals 18 plus 2 times 7 would be 14. So we're going to write 14. Now we can add. So we have P equals 18 plus 14. Just going to add those together. 8 plus 4 is 12. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So our perimeter is 32. Now, one important thing you must remember is write your unit down. So if we have a shape that is 32, it's 32 what? Is it feet or yards or inches? That's going to make a big difference. So you have to make sure you write your unit down. Don't just write your number. In this case, it is feet. So we're going to write 32 feet. And that is our answer. Let's work one more of these together. We have the same formula, so I'll just let that up on the board. Now we have a length of 14 meters and a width of 12 meters. So we can replace our L with 14 and replace our W with 12. So formula P equals 2 times 14 plus 2 times 12. And we work in the parentheses and then add them together. So we have P equals, what is 14 times 2? And that is 28. So 28 plus 2 times 12 is 24. Now we can add 28 plus 24. 8 plus 4 is 12. 1 plus 2 plus 2 is 5. So P equals 52. 52 what?